Hi everybody! 大家好! I welcome you to Jade Palace Yamingo. My name is Yaya. There's been a recent rise in the popularity of Chinese media. Where did it start and how did we get here? So, let's get started. Before I start, I do want to introduce some vocabulary that you guys are probably not familiar with. Donghua, which means animation. In China, donghua refers to all animated works regardless of style and origin, but in the foreign market, it's meant for animated works specifically from China. Manhua are Chinese comics and illustrated artworks, and this does include webcomics. A good place to see the birth of Chinese media is by looking at the start of Chinese animation. However, animation wasn't the first form of cinema, as film was introduced in 1886, and the first ever film, Dingzun Mountain, was released in 1905. But animation is a very good start. Chinese animated features have been made since the 1940s and winning international acclaim since the 1960s. This is all credited to the Wan brothers, who included Wan Laiming, Wan Guchan, Wan Chaochen, and Wan Dihuan. The first Chinese animation ever made was Shu Zhendong Huawen Daziji, also known as Shu Zhendong Chinese Typewriter in 1922. This animated short is directed and produced by two of the Wan brothers. The only thing that we do know was that it was a black and white advertisement made for the Shanghai commercial press. Unfortunately, we'll never actually know what it depicted, as it's considered lost media and has not been found. Another notable animated piece is 铁扇公主, Princess Iron Fan from 1941, also directed and produced by the Wan brothers. This is the first ever Asian animated feature film. Probably the most important animated film in Chinese history is 大闹天宫, Havoc in Heaven, 1961-1964, directed and produced by, you guessed it, the Wan brothers. This animated film is based on Journey to the West and the story of Sun Wukong. Created at the height of Chinese animation, it received numerous awards such as the Outstanding Film Award when it was screened at the London Film Festival in 1978, which earned the Wan brothers both domestic and international recognition. The reason it has 2 years listed is because it was released in 2 parts. While Chinese media weren't making waves in the Western market, which would actually often overshadow Chinese-made media, it doesn't mean that they weren't making iconic and groundbreaking works, even if it was just mostly popular in the domestic market. Here are a couple of my favorites. Journey to the West, 1986. Madam Whitesnake from 1992. Pearl Princess from 1998, Startling by Each Step from 2011, and 3 Lives, 3 Worlds, 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms. A lot of these are basically considered classics and are still culturally referenced to this day. Recently, we have seen this huge increase in the consumption of Chinese dramas, donghua, and manhua in the Western market, such as Genshin Impact, The Untamed, Heaven's Official Blessing, and so on. This isn't something that we've seen before. What were the contributors to the sudden boom in the foreign market? The first is the changes in style of cinematography, art, or storytelling that allowed it to grow beyond the domestic borders. Chinese media has a unique way of combining traditional iconography with contemporary ones. This includes both art styles and story themes. So we definitely see traditional styles utilized in addition to modern art styles, though it may not always be obvious, maybe in an opening sequence, backgrounds, effects, and character designs. Which brings us to the use of storytelling that's also appealing to the Western market. Older dramas tend to be more targeted towards the domestic market. Makes sense. but it was obviously meant for the older generation as they were mostly based on notable historical events. They were deep, complicated, talked formally, and filmed to be very serious. Not at all appealing to a non-Chinese viewer. But that doesn't mean new works shy away from using our culture and mythology for their storylines. It's the use of traditional Chinese cultural and religious themes that makes it unique. Now they just have a new way to tell their stories. Let's take the animated 2019 film Whitesnake for example. For a Chinese audience, we see this as a prequel to an old fable, which appeals to us. But the Western market, who may not understand, can still watch it as a straightforward love story. It's smart. Keep your main audience while attracting new ones. Improvements in their ways of storytelling, cinematography, and artistry has allowed newer media to attract foreign markets. Second major contributor to the growth is the increase of the younger generation in the domestic and foreign markets, and their interests, 仙侠 dramas, or fantasy dramas that are less history-based. These dramas have a more engaging and simpler storyline. This includes the danmei genre. Danmei is the genre of literature and fictional media that focuses on the romantic relationship between male characters. Dramas and donghua like The Untamed, Heaven's Official's Blessing, and Words of Honor have brought Chinese media to the Western popular culture. And finally, the last growth factor to the sudden boom is accessibility. Accessibility has also dramatically improved so that it's easy for the foreign viewer to consume. If you watch Chinese dramas back in the early 2000s, it would have been really hard for foreigners to understand the storyline because there wouldn't be any English subtitles. Or if there were, they would be fan-made and pretty terrible. So subtitles are important, especially if properly translated. It allows foreign viewers to understand what's going on, which makes it crucial in reaching new markets. Subtitles allows the media to be distributed overseas. This is why we've been seeing the amount of dramas officially distributed in the US rise. If you look at streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and even YouTube, you would see a pretty big selection of dramas and movies to watch. Haven't you guys noticed that there's been a lot of Western-made media based on Chinese culture as well? Turning Red, Over the Moon, and Wish Dragon are only a few. We can definitely see a growth. How much has Chinese media grown? It's gotten to a point where it's even giving Western media a run for their money. Personally, I think that donghua is even surpassing anime, and here are some examples. The animated film哪吒from 2019 was a definitive point in Chinese animation as it completely exceeded expectations and became a cultural phenomenon. It was the first IMAX feature film produced in China and grossed $725 million to date. It's still the highest grossing animated film in China and the 25th highest grossing animated film worldwide, which is impressive as it is the only foreign animated film in a list that is literally dominated by Western animated films, which is mostly Disney. Story of Yanxi Palace from 2018 was a pivotal drama that brought attention to Chinese dramas in the Western market. After it aired, it gained such huge traction that it was translated into 14 languages and made available in more than 70 markets globally. This drama was praised for its quality of costumes and sets, using more historically accurate attire and colors as opposed to the brightly colored costumes normally used for Qing Dynasty-based dramas. 5 years ago, if you went to a convention, it's all Japanese media, which is a given. There's even a good amount of K-pop merchandise. The idea of Chinese-based merch wasn't even a thought. But now, so many booths have donghua and manhua-based goods, showing how much Chinese media has impacted and grown in our pop culture. I have a Teespring if you like to support the channel. I have a lot of super cute designs that I'm really proud of, so please check it out if you can. Link is in the description below. So what do you guys think? Do you have a favorite Chinese drama or movie? Leave a comment down below because I would like to know. You can also let me know what topics you would like to see me cover in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Jade Palace Yamingo. I would very much appreciate it. And until next time, 再见了，拜拜。